Hi again, Vicky here. So, I've talked to you a little bit about the physical recovery, and that's ongoing. So the guidance I've been given from Dr. Adlam is that 3 to 6 months the tears will be repaired. My body will repair those. And probably 18 months to 2 years before I'm feeling sort of 100%. And I think his words were that it becomes something that goes into the background, which I thought was a really delightful turn of phrase. So we're right in the middle of all that and working every day towards that. And I have to say, some days are good and some days are not so good. And today I'm on a good day. I wanted to share with you and maybe start to open up over a couple of videos with you the emotional impact. In the early part of me coming out of hospital and coming home and being at home, I have gone back to see my therapist when I need it, really. I don't need to be in regular therapy, it's just on a needs basis, and at the moment I kind of need it. And I've also touched base with my supervisor, so I have some professional support around me as well as family and friends. And a couple of things have come out of that. In the early days, I was getting really bad flashbacks. So 2 or 3 in the morning, couldn't sleep, having flashbacks to the evening of my heart attack and what happened, and very, very, very clear pictures of what was happening. And so I've worked with my therapist on that, and she's an incredible lady and someone I trust implicitly, and she's really helped me come through that, to manage the flashbacks, to self-manage them, to know that I'm safe, to know that I'm okay, to know that the vulnerabilities are okay, and to really build around, to work through with them, not to fight them, and to let them move through. So very gradually over the weeks, they're getting less and less. And they still come, they still happen, and they seem to be at 0:00 in the morning when I seem to go wide awake and go, oh, good, I'm glad I'm wide awake at 2:45 or 3 in the morning. And the other thing that we touched on is this fear of sleeping and not wanting to go to sleep in case I do not wake up. And to face my own mortality has been and still continues to be something that I'm working on. When I was training as a psychotherapist, we spent a lot of time on mortality and facing our own mortality. And we, within the training and doing the masters that I did, you explored your own stuff, you explored your own dark corners, and mortality and us all facing our own mortality and the fragility of life is part of that process. So I had done some work on my own mortality. This is a very different way of working on it. I feel like I've had a sliding doors moment in the walk-in centre, that the GP that was on call knew about the blood test, was very clear that he wanted me to have it to rule out anything, and it ruled it in. And without that blood test, I would have been sent home with a panic attack or indigestion, possibly. So to face the fact that actually I could not be here is a massive, massive deal, and something that I face every day. Something like today that you see me, I'm okay. I'm okay. The sun is out. The sky is blue. What's not to like? Life is good. Yesterday it wasn't so good in the weather, and that brought me down a bit. And I work very hard with my therapist and my supervisor to get the professional support I need, as well as stuff I get at home. And one of the things that I'm focusing on is being in the moment and living the life that I want to choose to lead, and asking for my needs to be met. This is a big thing to start to do. I'm off work at the moment. I am probably off work until mid-January and may stay off longer, I haven't decided. I'm going to come back to work when I'm ready. I'm going to come back to work as I want to come back to work. So all those things are playing. And alongside that is coming to terms with the fact that I have had a heart attack, and what that means now, and what it could have meant, and allowing that grief process and that process to move through and be okay and be at peace with it. And that's happening very slowly. It's a big thing to face, and it has changed how I see things. I see things differently. I see things as I want to see them. I was fairly balanced before, but this has really opened up a lens where I have choice, and the choices I make are about keeping my family and my friends close, and my profession and my belief in what I do close. It's also about looking after what I want to do. So when I ring somebody and say, hi, let's have a coffee, I want to have a coffee with them. I want the human contact with them. When I say to someone, I'm not feeling up to it, I'm not feeling well enough, that in itself also takes a lot of courage to say I'm not in the right space to meet you. So those things that seem very easy are also quite hard to balance. And the other thing that interests me is before, I did work on resilience, and I will continue to do that when I come back to work. I do my therapy work. I do all of that, and I will continue to do that because I love it and I believe in it. We spend a lot of time talking about well-being and mental health, and we really must get a balance. I will get a balance, and I'm going to choose my balance every single day that I wake up. I will choose the balance for that day. And if it doesn't work for me, I'm going to find ways to enable things to work for me and make the choices that are right. So that's the work that's going on at the moment, which is underpinned by the sliding doors moment. So I might video something when I'm not having such a good day, and maybe try and capture with you and for you the depth and the strength of that emotion. For now, that's the best I can share with you, and I hope that comes across okay. I am delighted to be here. I'm going to go and sit in my garden in a minute because I can, and have a cup of tea. So I will see you shortly, and thank you for listening. Bye.